Chapter 14. Nija said with a smile and rode his wind fire wheels even faster in pursuit. Li Jing was frightened. He'll overtake me soon and kill me with his lance. What shall I do? Just at this critical moment, he heard someone approaching, singing a song. The moon shines o'er the clear still waters. On the bank peach flowers and willows grow. This is a scene of no ordinary beauty. High in the sky, the dawn clouds glow. He saw a young Taoist, and immediately recognized to be his second son, Mujia, disciple of the immortal universal virtue. Father, Mujia's here. Seeing him, Li Jing felt relieved. As Nija rushed up, Mujia moved forward to meet him. Stop, you wretch. To murder your father is a capital crime. I'll spare your life only if you leave here at once. He threatened. Who are you that dares brag so? You don't even recognize me. I'm your elder brother Mujia. Leaning that it was his brother, Nija hastily said. Second brother, you don't know the details of what's happened. He told Mujia the whole story, then asked. Who is right, Li Jing or I? Parents are always right on matters concerning their children. But don't you know that I returned my flesh and bones to him? No relationship exists between us as father and son now. Nija argued. At this, Mujia flew into a rage, and cursing him as an unfilial son, slashed at Nija with his sword. Nija parried the blow with his lance. Mujia. There's no bad feeling between us. Stand back and let me take my revenge on Li Jing. Mujia swore angrily. You damned wretch. How dare you be so perverse? As Mujia aimed another blow, Nija sighed. Things are destined by fate. He's willing to substitute death for life. He returned the blow with a thrust of his fire-tipped lance. Though engaged with his brother, Nija's mind was on his father. Worried that he might run away, he parried Mujia's blow, took the gold brick from his bag and threw it straight at Mujia. Caught off guard, Mujia was struck on the back and fell to the ground. Nija turned to Li Jing, who took flight at once. Even if you run to the seaside or to an island, I'll get you. Nija taunted with a laugh. Li Jing sped along wildly, not knowing whether he was going east, west, south, or north. After he had run for a long time, he was exhausted. Enough. Enough. I don't know what dreadful sin I must have committed in my previous incarnation that I first failed to become an immortal, and then produced such a wicked son. I'd better kill myself so as to avoid further humiliation. He decided, and was reaching for his weapon when he heard someone call him. General Li, stop. I'm coming now. A voice said, and then began to sing. Warm winds caress the willow trees. And on the pool sweet petals float. You ask me where it is I dwell. I answer. In white clouds remote. It was Heavenly Master of outstanding culture. He approached swiftly with a duster in his hand. Li Jing cried out. Master, save my life, I beg of you. Go into my cave at once. I'll wait for him here. The immortal said. A few moments later, Nija sped up militantly on his wind fire wheels. He stopped, spotting the Taoist standing on a slope, but no sign of Li Jing. Master, have you seen a general pass by? General Li Jing's just gone into my cave. Why do you ask? Master, he's my enemy. You'd better tell him to come out. This matter has nothing to do with you, but if you help him get away, I'll give you a taste of my lance in his place. Nija said harshly. Who are you? Why are you so ferocious as to threaten even me? Nija had no idea who the Taoist was. He answered haughtily. I'm a disciple of Fairy Primordial on Qiangyun Mountain. My name's Nija. I'm not to be trifled with. I've never heard of Fairy Primordial's disciple. This isn't the place for you to be blustering about. If you don't behave yourself, I'll take you to the peach garden, give you 300 strokes with the cane, and hang you there for 3 years. Not knowing what was good for him, Nija lunged at Heavenly Master, who turned and ran towards his cave with Neja chased close behind. The immortal took out the magic dragon-bound stake from his sleeve and threw it into the air. In an instant, fierce winds sprang up, fog filled the sky, and dust billowed through the air. Neja began to feel faint and his mind became confused. Before he knew what was happening, he found himself tightly bound to a golden stake by golden rings around his neck, arms and legs, unable to move an inch. The Heavenly Master walked up. "Enough of your impudence, you wicked brat!" He cursed and then told Jinja, Neja's eldest brother, "Fetch me a cane." When it was brought, the Heavenly Master ordered, "Beat him for me." Jinja did as he was ordered and gave Neja a severe beating. After quite a long while, the Heavenly Master said, "All right, that's enough." And the two returned to the cave together. "What's going on? I not only failed to get Li Jing, but I got myself caught and beaten black and blue in the bargain," Neja thought. He gnashed his teeth in fury but could do nothing but wait quietly outside the cave. Fairy Primordial had planned all this meaning to temper Neja's violent nature. As Neja was fuming with rage, he saw his master arrive at High Cloud Cave. "Master! Master! Please save me!" Neja cried loudly, but Fairy Primordial took no notice of him and went directly into the cave. When White Cloud Lad reported his arrival, Heavenly Master came out and took his hand. "I've been teaching your disciple a little lesson," he said with a smile. After they sat down, Fairy Primordial said, "I realized that Neja's too violent by nature. I sent him here to be tempered. I'm sorry if he's offended you. Go and set Neja free. Tell him to come in." Heavenly Master ordered Jinja. Jinja went up to Neja. "Your master orders you to see him inside. As your master could do nothing with me, he played some trick to make me unable to move. How can you joke with me now?" Jinja smiled. "Close your eyes and I'll set you free." Neja closed his eyes. Jinja drew a charm to remove the dragon-bound stake. When he opened his eyes, Neja found that all the rings, together with the stake, had disappeared. Shaking his head, he murmured, "Good heavens! I've suffered too much today. Let me see my master and find out what I can do." When Jinja and Neja entered the cave, the latter saw his master sitting on the right and the Taoist on the left. "Come here. Kneel down and kowtow to your uncle," Fairy Primordial ordered him. Neja didn't dare disobey his master, and so he kowtowed to Heavenly Master. "Thank you for the beating," he said, and then kowtowed to his own master. Fairy Primordial asked Li Jing to come over. When Li Jing knelt before him, he said, "Li Jing, what you did on Jade Screen Mountain was really too narrow-minded. It created this hostility between father and son." This criticism failed to soothe Neja. His anger rose so high that he wished secretly to devour Li Jing. The two immortals, however, knew exactly what he was thinking. From this day on, there must be no more antagonism between you two. "Li Jing, you may leave here first," Fairy Primordial added. Li Jing thanked the two immortals and left the cave. Neja seethed with fury but dared not utter a word. He scratched his cheeks, pulled his ears, sighed and groaned. Fairy Primordial laughed inwardly at him. "You may go too. Go and keep watch on the cave. I'll have a game of chess with your uncle and be back in a minute," he told Neja. Neja was elated. He left the cave immediately and began to pursue Li Jing on his wind-fire wheels. After quite a while, he caught sight of Li Jing hurrying along on the dust. "Li Jing, stop running. I'm coming to get you," he called after him. How could that Taoist fool me like this? Since I was allowed to leave first, he shouldn't have set him free to chase after me. That immortal had no good intentions at all. What am I to do now? Li Jing cried out pitifully. He continued to flee, but time was running out. Just at the critical moment, Catching sight of another Taoist on top of a peak leaning casually on a pine tree, he called out for help. "Is that Li Jing?" the Taoist asked. "Yes, it's me, master." Li Jing answered frantically. "Why are you in such a panic? Ne Jia's close on my heels. Save me, I beg you. Come up here and stand behind me." Li Jing immediately went up and hid behind the Taoist. Before he could catch his breath, Ne Jia arrived at the foot of the mountain and saw Li Jing and the unknown Taoist standing on the peak before a pine tree. "Don't think that I'll come off worst this time." Ne Jia smiled and rode his wind fire wheels up the peak. "Why are you chasing him?" the Taoist asked Ne Jia. When Ne Jia had repeated the whole story, the Taoist said, "Since you agreed to keep peace, why are you pursuing him again? You're breaking your promise. This isn't any of your business. Don't interfere with me. I must get hold of him to vent my hatred. If you insist," said the Taoist, and turning to Li Jing he said, "Go and fight with him while I watch. Master, this beast has unbounded strength. I'm surely no match for him." Li Jing answered dejectedly. The Taoist stood up, spat on him, and clapped him on the back, saying, "Go and fight with him. I'm here, so don't worry." Li Jing had no choice but to lift his halberd and charge into the fight. Ne Jia met him with his fire-tip lance. Father and son fought violently on the open space of the peak. After 50 or 60 rounds, Ne Jia was utterly exhausted, his whole body bathed in sweat. Li Jing was no match for me, but now he's getting the upper hand. It must be because that Taoist spat on him and clapped him on the back. FLL first stab the Taoist and then deal with Li Jing. He thought to himself and leapt suddenly away from the fight and lunged straight at the Taoist. The Taoist quickly opened his mouth and spat out a white lotus flower, which stopped the lance in midair. "You wicked brat. Your fight's with your father. There's no animosity between us. Why did you stab at me with your lance? I would have lost my life if it hadn't been for my white lotus flower. Why are you so savage? Li Jing's never been able to beat me before." Ne Jia shouted. "Why did you spit and clap him on the back? There's obviously some trick in it to make me unable to defeat him. That's why. You damned brat. I dare you to stab me again," the Taoist challenged. In a burning rage, Ne Jia lunged forward, aiming his lance straight at the breast of the Taoist. The immortal jumped aside and lifted his sleeves towards the sky. The air was instantly filled with beautiful whirling clouds and a swirling purple mist. An exquisitely wrought pagoda dropped from the sky on top of Ne Jia, trapping him inside. The Taoist struck the top of the pagoda with both hands, and a fierce fire began to rage within. Ne Jia was burnt so terribly that he cried out for mercy. "Are you willing to acknowledge your father now?" I do. I acknowledge him." Ne Jia had to agree. "Then I'll spare your life," said the Taoist, and quickly removed the pagoda. Looking down at his body, Ne Jia was astonished to find that he had not a single burn. "How extraordinary," he thought. "This Taoist is playing tricks on me. Since you acknowledge Li Jing as your father, you must kowtow to him." Seeing that if he refused, the Taoist would burn him in the pagoda again, Ne Jia controlled himself with an effort and kowtowed to Li Jing with an angry expression on his face. "You must call him father," the Taoist ordered. When Ne Jia hesitated, he said, "Since you refuse, you must be still unwilling to acknowledge him. I'll have to burn you again in the pagoda." This alarmed Ne Jia so that he hastily cried, "Father! Father! Your sons sinned against you." The Taoist then told Li Jing to kneel down. "I'll give you this pagoda and teach you how to use it. Should Ne Jia trouble you again, you can burn him with it." Hearing this, Ne Jia realized that it would be impossible for him to get it back at Li Jing. He felt greatly disappointed. "Henceforth, the two of you must live in harmony. You'll be ministers one day in the same court. You should help the Sage King found the new dynasty while cultivating your own proper lives. Nothing more should be said of past events. Nija, you may go now. Nija understood the situation. He left and returned to Qianyun Mountain. Li Jing knelt down. Master, your kindness has saved me from great peril. May I know your honorable name and the cave you live in? I'm Master Burning Lamp from the Prime Consciousness Cave on Mount Divine Hawk. Though you failed to attain the way, you've enjoyed wealth and power in the world. Now King Zhou rules without virtue and the kingdom is in chaos. You needn't be a garrison commander any longer, but should become a hermit in some mountain valley. Keep away from fame and riches temporarily. When King Wu of the Rising Zhou dynasty launches an attack on King Zhou, you may come out of the mountains and distinguish yourself. Li Jing kowtowed and returned to Chentong Pass. He gave up his post and became a hermit in the mountains. Burning Lamp had come at the request of Fairy Primordial to temper Nija and to effect a reconciliation between father and son. If you want to know what happened next, you must read the next chapter.